Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace to be upon everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. Today's party is called Not Squared Away. Gonna play a little bit of music and wait for some people to come in. We've just now gotten started. Got one in YouTube land. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a Geno unit. Okay. Emily Thorpe. Asma Baharab. Ooh, that's a hard deep one right there. Let's see if I can get all that out. Asma Bahadar. Noob Slayer. That looks like a familiar name. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. I do apologize if we mispronounce your names. You came in because you were looking? Okay. Well, my heart, my love, is with the Tav, carried by Yahashua HaMashiach. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, in the name of our Father, our Creator, Lord over everything. Shalom at Barak, peace and blessings. I walk with the standards of Yahweh Elohim, guided by Ravak HaKadosh, Holy Spirit. And the example given to me is Yahashua HaMashiach, our Messiah. Allahu Salihi wa Salam, all peace from our Father to him, prophets before and after him. These are great. Finn 227 as friend. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Geno unit. Why do you think that you have the purpose or the privilege to be able to come and request what my hair looks like? You can see my hair, everybody else can too. To be honest with you, we get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Friday, to talk about ethics in entrepreneurship. I'm not here for a fashion statement. I'm not here for you to ogle all over me like you got some kind of crush. I'm not here for that. If you look at any of the topics throughout my profile, throughout the playlists, you will see that I'm a producer. I'm a graphic illustrator. I'm a promoter. Thank you for even considering my hair, but there's a whole lot more of a person here than just my hair. Give me a moment. I'm in the middle of making some coffee and I'm making a funnel, right? And I'll show you all the results because I'm making some instant coffee. I've got my water and I've got the instant coffee, but I picked the funnel so that I can pour it into the water bottle. Okay, so I'm about to set up some music because this is just an intro. We've been going maybe 6 minutes right now. We'll be on for at least 2 hours. Adon willing. Give me just a moment. Kati, I see you. It's very Tabata to have you here. Shiv 06X. Ashimi Havalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu alaikum. Warahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Shiv, you ask where I am? On planet Earth, just like you. Funko Wunko. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, Funko Wunko. Apparently you came here to tell us about your habits. Thanks. Waffle Deity. Melanated Wing Star. Familiar name and face. You're back. That's what's up. It's very proud to have you here. Shem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, the family, and the circle. That's for everybody who's here. Thank you. Teda. Shukran. Spasibo. Grazie. Gracias. Molto grazie. Spasibo. Welcome to the party. Today's party is called Not Squared Away. How many of y'all running around here talking about y'all some kind of soldier? Akbin, my brother, he makes jokes about me. Most people found with a brown spoon, they've been doing something they ain't had no business doing. Well, you thought I had the shakes. I was shaking a container. Smart Alex. How would you like it if every time you wrongly accuse somebody, they hit you in your eye to make sure you see better next time? Then you really have to work with some kind of splinter or a beam. Because you're going to see a beam of light when you get popped in a socket. You feeling like you in that low place? Come out of that vibration. Calm your Hashraya. Hey son, your Hashraya. Go learn some respect. You find yourself being devoured by wild bears. If you don't know about Shaka Zulu, you might not be ready for this session. If you don't know about Tecumseh, Crazy Horse, you might not be ready for this session. Sitting Bull, you might not be ready for this. Leonard Peltier, Mumi Abu Jamal, American Indian Movement. Y'all go around talking about the rain dance. You don't know about the ghost dance.
Let's go through it again. 29%. This lady is so wrong of fun. They make up the head of the commission. The two groups of people out of the planet. When they all. The hand is up on the side. When they all cheating behind. That's phase one. And when I give the word, the heart will slip out on both sides. That's phase two. Phase three, the heart will have tackled the enemy and close it. Is that clear? That is right. Come on now. We're going to
Two videos on my profile featuring the music that you're hearing now. I see four in YouTube land. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom HaBarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circles. Thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get this party started. As is customary, we will open up with Al-Fatiha. Sarah Thomas, I see you. It's a familiar name. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom HaBarak. It's very about to have you here. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Sarah is a familiar name. That's why. Now you're speaking in strange code. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We seek the protection of our Father against shaitan and evil ways while we travel the divine path. Ameen. We recite surah, psalms, prayer, and do worship in order to become closer and nearer to our Father, Yahweh Elohim subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praises to our sustenance, to our source of sustenance and mercy. It is said for every step that we take towards Yahweh Elohim, 1,000 steps are taken towards us by our Father. Halal Yahweh. Tada Abba. Thank you, Father, because we've got a lot of work to do. If you think you're doing something with 1,500 to 5,000 steps in a day, how much of that is going towards Yahweh Elohim and service in the kingdom? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim. Walad Dolin. Amen. In the name of our Father, most merciful, most compassionate, Lord over all worlds, creator of our deen, our divine path, most merciful, most compassionate. We ask you to forgive us when we disobey like others have done before. We ask you to show us how to forgive others the way that you forgive us. We thank you for providing the divine path. Ameen. It's said that when we pass away and we go and greet our Creator, we will be asked, have you heard Al-Fatiha? If you've been listening for the last 2 or 3 minutes, yes, you have heard it. You've heard it in both Farsi tongue and in English. If you go to Quran.com, you'll be able to see all of the surah of the Quran. It'll be in Farsi tongue written, and you can push the button to hear it spoken. I know that it's in English. You may be able to find it in your own mother tongue as well. Quran.com, Quran.com. Quran.com. Al-Fatiha is the first surah in the Quran. If you heard swear words, then you might need to tune your ears. Not squared away. If you show a certain amount of discipline, people will ask you if you are part of the military. If you know certain terms and jargon, if you carry yourself a certain way, are you in the military? Well, see, I have to give a prompt answer to that. No, because I wouldn't have been squared away. My brother was in the military. Even though he was in it, he wasn't squared away. Now, that could mean a lot of things. However, let's drive it on to the point. They say you can't put a peg in a square, nor can you fit a cube in a peg's hole. To be squared away means that you're uniform. You're going to fit in with everything else. I don't comply with very much. It has to be a standard. It has to be a set system that has always been here. I will glide, float, swim, stroke through the established system. because it was here before anybody named Czar. It was here before any person on earth could conceive that they needed to have a name to begin with. There was already a system here. There was already a balance. Selah. Somebody was making noise. I just wanted to see what was going on. We normally get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about ethics in entrepreneurship. That's Sunday through Friday. On Saturday, it's a standard Shabbat, so I'm not on live. I still post things throughout the week on social media. I have a lot of different social media platforms that I use, not just 2 or 3. When I tell you that I'm a promoter, it means that I can take a concept and publish it globally, not just, oh, well, Facebook is global. No. There's options. If you know of 10 options, I know of 20. If you know of 20, I can show you a list of 250 physical options. So what are ethics? Ethics are standards, common code. The Bible, the Apocrypha, and the Quran are common code. There are people who are fighting over how to pronounce things, who said what and where did they say it and when did they say it. They're missing the whole idea of what the code is completely saying. People are running around arguing over, well, what's the authority of this is the Shem, if this is the name of this person? Well, you have to look beyond that. How many people do you know named Michael, Jeremiah, David, Shabriel, Abraham, Moses, Peter, Mark, Mary, Deborah, Ruth, Simon? How many names do you know like that? Do they all hold up to what they were named or who they were named after? Or even if the concept was there, or did the person just like the sound of the name? And what did it have to do with their actual life, their livelihood, and what they did to establish their legacy? Their name, what did it really do? Because everybody right now is trying to hold this importance on how much they are a part of the family of the house of Yahasharael. You're not going to get there because you've changed this name that you were given and you want to have something that's pronounced closer to the Hebrew tongue. No, that doesn't put you in the house of Yahasharael. Oh, well, I want to sign up with this most popular part of the clan. No, that does not put you in the house of Yahasharael. Well, see, I got certain features. I got the phenotype. No. Well, I live in a certain region on the western side of the globe. And the people dispersed. And when they came over here, they changed their name and they no. You will know by their actions. You will know by the fruit of their labor. You will know because they're not just pleasant company, they are righteous company. There were 12 brothers. and there were two grandsons. And in all of that inheritance, there's a story that unfolds, and then there's a big old 400-year gap. Before the 400-year gap, there's a story about how the house of Yahashariel landed in a particular territory that had already been paid for in tribute by Abraham to the order of Melchizedek as a tribute, saying that when the house of Yahashariel get here, they will not practice what the Canaanites were doing. Those of Canaan, the Canaanites, what they were doing as far as polytheism, worshiping multiple deities, doing things that were not the standards of Yahweh Elohim, subhanAllah. So there were 12 brothers and 2 grandsons. And they didn't just pick up their tents after they established everything and said, okay, that's yours, that's yours, that's yours. And then all of a sudden everybody jumped up and left. No. They stayed there, established stakes, and then figured out what they were going to do. I made it my mission to go and find out, well, okay, what were their mercantile positions? Because there are different opportunities in that land, in that area. There are different levels of fertility. There's different offerings of what can be grown through agriculture, what can be done as far as livestock, shepherds and husbandry, poultry, fish and fowl, because there were rivers. There's some lakes and ponds. Some were there back then. Some have shrank back. However, the region is still the region. If you know anything about geography, sometimes we did put our hands in the land in order to build trenches and waterworks. Most of you may not know there was a part of the Nile that used to go east to west across the Sahara Desert. There used to be a river going east to west. There used to be a giant lake. It has shrunk. However, it's still there. So I went digging for some information to find out, because my mission is to always jump up and tell everybody, remember Asher. Why we got to remember Asher? Well, his mother named him I'm Happy. Now, it wasn't that Asher was saying I'm happy. No, his mother was saying that she was happy. So his Shem, his authority is I'm happy. Okay. Now, how do you produce a gross national product, or at least a part of the gross national product, off of I'm happy? I'm in a great mood. I'm gonna go over there and make sure you're in a positive vibe too. Are you straight now? You taba? You sure? Okay, because all right, now I'm about to run over here because I see somebody. They look like they might be a little troubled. I'm happy. Does that feed the children? Does that clothe the family? Does that build a structure? Does it protect the community? So apparently there was something else going on besides his mother named him I'm Happy. And the house of Yahashua was walking through the wilderness with Musa, coming out of Kemet, traveling towards Canaan. They traveled in formation. Each of the 12 brothers, their families and their tents were in allotted locations. Northwestern corner, central north, northeastern corner of their moving encampment. They were moving in cube formation. Because then you got the center, left, center, center, right. Then you got the south, left, south, center, and south, right, moving as one force. So when they were led over into the promised land where Musa couldn't put his feet, was it Joshua who told him where to go? You find it in Joshua. Being led by Aaron, Harun, and Joshua in the stead of Moses. Asher was told to set their camp in a certain place. However, they weren't the first ones. The first was the firstborn. Firstborn was Reuben. We talked about Reuben the other day. What we've been doing is going and finding out the mercantile responsibilities of each of the brothers and their families and what they were doing according to the nation of the house of Yahashua. We found out that some of them were not taking care of their responsibilities. Some of them hadn't even claimed their own land. Some of them, there were Canaanites that were already there, and they left them there. They didn't even go in and claim what was already there. Others said, well, you can do what you're doing, just don't step out of the bounds of the standards of Yahweh Elohim. We found out there were times when there were battles and they were being called out for battles, and certain of the family members said, no, we're not coming. The family of Asher were mercantile. They worked with the ports. They were in boats. So we've been in boats for a while, rocking and rolling. We were rocking and rolling since before the electric guitar, because we were rocking and rolling on boats. We've been rocking and rolling on boats since before the boat that nobody wants to talk about. Why? Because we were already on boats, traveling, visiting, and casting nets. Consider each social media platform as a port. It's a digital port. It's a portal. It's a harbor. You can go visit there. You can cast your net on the network and then move along instead of sitting there and consuming. 3PROJH. Meet me on Discord. 3PROJH. We studied Dan after we studied Asher. We studied Naphtali, Simeon, Reuben, and we got into Levi yesterday. We read the summary about what was going on as far as what we can find in the Bible verses and all that kind of stuff. The stories that we would find in Judges and everything else. But we didn't get a chance to read the testament of Levi. See, I also found the testaments of the 12 patriarchs, the 12 fathers. The children of Yahashua were considered the fathers of their clans, of their families. That's what patriarch means, head father. So, since we made it through the summary, but we didn't get a chance to actually read the testament of Levi, Lava, you mean to tell me Lava, Lava. Levi, his name is really supposed to be the same thing as like heart and law. Selah. It's a rainy day, it's a rainy day. It's raining outside and they won't let me play. But you know I'll play anyway. All right, so y'all know the rules. Gotta go all the way back over to Facebook so I can get to the link. Open up the link, and then we can get to this research. I've been having a great day all day. I don't know if you can see this, but see that little yellow mark right there? Your video has been muted. You see, I've been in a battle with the music industry. I used this song from this group called Portishead. And right now I'm just doing this. I'm about to actually, Don Willing, get in contact with the group themselves, because they are with an independent label over in United Kingdom. Managed to get 8 million views around this time last year. I haven't seen anything about it. And I'd like to know if they know anything about it. Because really, if I made any portion of any kind of profit, I was planning to send it to them. And I'm not saying, hey, give me money because y'all are millionaires. No, I did the song because I actually like their music. And there's rules to this, right? When I registered the song in the metadata, in the artist information, I gave credit. So when the song pops up, immediately first it says that it belongs to Portishead. These social media sites have gotten to the point to where if you play certain artist music, they'll tell you that you're copyright restricted and you can't play that. Now you tell me why there would be a rule against free promotion. Why can't I play my favorite artist's music? You see, I'm getting to a point here. I've got 5 albums out. And then I'm responsible for actually starting up a label for a brother named Cole. Cole Before Diamond Productions is another label. That label has an album out called For Yahweh, meant for the nation, for the house of Yahasharayah. And then there's another album called Curator's Road for Namdehum. You all think a curator is somebody who sits on Spotify and generates a playlist. Oh no, I'm here to tell you there's way more to being a curator than what most people will tell you. There's a lot of people claiming titles and they don't even know what their real office is. What do you know about getting your own intellectual property protected by copyright? What do you know about securing an ISRC for your individual soundtracks? Every time your voice is being recorded, for every image that has anything to do with you, or if there are characters being put together to represent the sound and the pronunciation of your name or your association, or the fact that you may be doing some kind of brainstorming and you don't want somebody else to walk away with your idea, that's called intellectual property. Do you know how to register that? Do you know how to actually spread the information that you want people to know about across the globe instead of just relying on one social media site that's going to tell you to pay them? Yeah, pay us $10 and we'll get you 1,000 views. 1,000 views from whom? And are those 1,000 people going to come back? Are they even going to stick around to see what I got going on? Yay, I got 1,000 views. All right, now what you going to show for that? Oh, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go viral. With what? Do you own the footage of the images that people are seeing? Do you own the sound that you're using? Or did you just put your name on some stuff that's trending? And then the next question is, how is that really helping anybody? Is it something that your grandma can see? Is it something that your niece can see? Is it something that you would want your child to see later on when they grow up and they are an adult? Are you legacy building? Or are you just trying to pad your pockets? Selah. All right. Found the link. Testament of Asher. I'm going in, type into the search so that we can find the testament of Levi. Lava. Something real interesting about every time we do this, when we go into trying to find the testaments and all that kind of stuff, new articles come up because it also shows me other reference material and other links. We're in BibleHub.com. 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 And it tells me these are the names and I don't want the verses. That's what it's trying to tell me about. No, I don't want the verses. Wait a minute. There we go. Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs. It's great that we're going back to this anyway, because I needed to know which one we're looking up next. We did these Zakar. No. Okay, I see what's happening now. Okay, yeah, I see what's happening. Ooh, we're in for a treat today. Today is Yehavata Day. All right. The Testament of Levi concerning the priesthood and arrogance. I saw it, but we didn't get a chance to read it yet. That's right. Okay. Here we go. Section 1. The copy of the words of Levi, what things he appointed to his sons, according to all that they should do, and what things should befall them until the day of judgment. He was in sound health when he called them to him, for it had been shown to him that he should die. And when they were gathered together, he said to them, Section 2, I, Levi, was conceived in Haran and born there, and after that I came with my father to Shechem. Put a pin in that. Haran is what you call Iran today. And I was young, about 20 years of age, when with Simeon I wrought the vengeance on Hamor for our sister Dana. And when we were feeding our flocks in Abel Mal, a spirit of understanding of Adon came upon me. And I saw all men corrupting their way, and that unrighteousness had built to itself walls, and iniquity sat upon towers. And I grieved for the race of men, and I prayed to Adon that I might be saved. Then there fell upon me a sleep, and I beheld a high mountain. This is the mountain of Aspis in Abel Mal. And behold, the heavens were open, and an angel of Yahweh Elohim said to me, Levi, enter. And I entered from the first heaven into the second, and I saw there water hanging between the one and the other. And I saw a third heaven, far brighter than those two, for there was in it a height without bounds. And I said to the angel, Wherefore is this? And the angel said to me, Marvel not at these, for you shall see 4 other heavens brighter than these, and without comparison. When you shall have ascended there, because you shall stand near Adon, and he shall be his minister, and shall declare his mysteries to men, and shall proclaim concerning him who shall redeem Yahashrael. And by you and Yehoiada, Judah, shall Adon appear among men, saving in them every race of men. And of the portion of Adon shall be your life, and he shall be your field and vineyard, fruits, gold, silver. These saw for Levi. Section 3. Hear then concerning the 7 heavens. The lowest is for this cause more gloomy, in that it is near all the iniquities of men. The second has fire, snow, ice, ready for the day of the ordinance of Adon, and the righteous judgment of Yahweh Elohim. In it are all the spirits of the retributions for vengeance on the wicked. And the third are the hosts of the armies which are ordained for the day of judgment, to work vengeance on the spirits of deceit and of Belar. And the heavens up to the 4th above these are holy, for in the highest of all dwells the great glory, and the Holy of Holies, far above all holiness. And the heaven next to it are the angels of the presence of Adon, who minister and make propitiation to Adon for all the ignorances of the righteous. And they offer to the Lord a reasonable, sweet-smelling savor and a bloodless offering. You know, all those times all these people been running around here talking about they was offering this sweet-smelling offering for savor and all of that. So you can only do so much. You can only burn so much frankincense. You can only light up so much oil. You can only say so many please. If you don't get right and act right and live in righteousness, none of it matters. To the point of it getting all the way to the heavens and even the angels. Propitiations is them proclaiming that they are asking for pity for you. When you go out saying that you're doing righteous and you are being ignorant and misleading people, there are angels already burning for you. You're stumbling over your own feet, burning again, instead of actually learning and changing. That's what Salah means. Stop, think about it, and change if necessary. And in the heaven below this are the angels who bear the answer to the angels of the presence of Adon. And in the heaven next to this are thrones, dominions, in which hymns are ever offered to Yahweh Elohim. Therefore, whenever the Lord looks upon us, all of us are shaken. Yes, the heavens and the earth and the abysses are shaken at the presence of his majesty. But the sons of men, regarding not these things, sin and provoke the Most High. So blind, chasing your own designs, that you miss the real movement and signs from the Most High. Section 4. Now, therefore, know that Adon will execute judgment upon the sons of men, because when the rocks are rent, and the sun quenched, and the waters dry up, and the fire trembling, and all creation troubled, and the invisible spirits melting away, and the grave spoiled in the suffering of the Most High, men unbelieving will abide in their iniquity. Therefore with punishment shall they be judged. Therefore the Most High has heard your prayer, to separate you from iniquity, and that you should become to him a son and a servant and a minister of his presence. A shining light of knowledge shall you shine in Jacob, and as the sun shall you be to all the seed of Yahashrael. And a blessing shall be given to you and to all your seed, until Adon shall visit all the heathen in the tender mercies of his son, even forever. Nevertheless, your son shall lay hands upon him to crucify him, and therefore have counsel and understanding been given you, that you might instruct your sons concerning him, because he blessed him shall be blessed, but they that curse him shall perish. The whole time that's talking about Adon, that's talking about the coming Messiah. That's the Lord. That's not the Lord of all worlds. That's the Prince. It's talking about the coming of the Prince, the Messiah, Yahashua HaMashiach. In that opening statement, it's saying it's going to be because of the Levites. They will be allowing and handing him up to be put on the cross. Apparently, these people coming from the Sadducees and the Pharisees were part of Levite. We're going to dig in and find out what's going on with that. Inshallah, Adon willing. That's why we're going through each of these. We want to get acquainted with what they were up to, and then we're going to give them a full method, so that when we do practice our ethics and entrepreneurship, we don't go back and make the mistakes of doing something that would be corrupt. We don't want to misrepresent the real activities of the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim, because that is the question at hand. How can you say you are a part of the kingdom with a leader that nobody can see? Blessed are those who have faith in the intangible, the unseen. Why are they blessed? Because they're still going out trying to multiply a positive vibe and keep the standard of the one who made everything. You don't have to see that evidence. Do you see your voice? Section 5. And the angel opened to me the gates of heaven, and I saw the holy temple, and the Most High upon a throne of glory. And he said to me, Levi, I have given you the blessings of the priesthood until that I shall come and sojourn in the midst of Yahashrael. Then the angel brought me to the earth and gave me a shield and a sword and said, work vengeance on Shechem because of Dana, and I will be with you, because the Lord has sent me. And I destroyed at that time the sons of Hamor, as it is written in the heavenly tablets. And I said to him, I pray you, O Adon, tell me your name, that I may call upon you in a day of tribulation. And he said, I am the angel who intercedes for the race of Yahashrael, that he might smite them, not utterly, because every evil spirit attacks it. This angel said, no, I'm not your Lord. I represent Adon. I'm a messenger from Adon. And after these things, I was as it were awakened. I was as it were awakened, and blessed the Most High, and the angel that intercedes for the race of Yahashrael and for all the righteous. There's the Tetragrammaton and the Metrogrammaton and the Tanarana and all of that. Michael, Gabriel, Seraphim, Cherubim. When it's all said and done, those are all just other people and other creations that our Father has set in place with one name tag. Hi, my name is Servant. So there's this angel that was interceding for the house of Yahashrael, pretty much there all of the time. Go walk up to the house. Might be the only one that answers the door. Welcome to the house of Yahashua, the interceding angel. Selah. Section 6. And when I came to my father, I found a brazen shield. Wherefore also the name of the mountain is Aspis, which is near Gebal, on the right side of Abila. And I kept these words in my heart. I took counsel with my father and with Reuben my brother, that he should bid the sons of Hemor that they should be circumcised. For I was jealous because of the abomination which they had wrought in Yahashrael. And I slew Sheshem at the first, and Simeon slew Hemor. And after this our brothers came and smote the city with the edge of the sword. And our father heard it and was wroth, and he was grieved in that they had received the circumcision. And after that had been put to death. And in his blessings he dealt otherwise with us. For we sinned because we had done this thing against his will, and he was sick upon that day. But I knew that the sentence of Yahweh Elohim was for evil upon Sheshem, for they sought to do to Sarah as they did to Dinah, our sister, and Adon hindered them. And so they persecuted Abraham our father when he was a stranger, and they harried his flocks when they were multiplied upon him. And Jableh, his servant, born in his house, they shamefully handled. And thus they did to all strangers, taking away their wives by force, and the men themselves driving into exile. But the wrath of Adon came suddenly upon them to the uttermost. Now here's the reflection. At the beginning of this, Levi is telling his sons and his grandchildren, at the time that my brother and I went out and battled Hamor and Sheshem, I could already see around me the evil of men. I could already see the intentions. I could already see the outcome. I could already see what people were doing. They were being non-scrupulous. They were not holding the standards of Yahweh Elohim. And he didn't like the look of that. That was his reason for going after the people in Sheshem. Now I need you to catch something. No, Jacob was not happy that they had some people circumcised and then immediately killed them there afterwards. If you're going to go through the process of circumcising somebody, that means you're going to allow them to also take the steps to go through redemption, because it was redemption back then before Yahashua HaMashiach came along. Do you really think that when the children of Yahashua got into the land of Canaan and they were given their places, that everybody was living pure lives? You would be sadly mistaken. That was not 144,000 people who were living pure lives. They had to be guided on a daily basis. That was the whole point in the Levites being spread around so that all 12 clans had access to the one standard. No matter who you came across, and he said that he was a Levite, he was supposed to tell you the same standard that Joshua would tell you, Yahashua, because that was even back then hanging out with Musa. His name wasn't Joshua, it was Yahashua. Joshua would tell you that. Musa's brother, Harun, Iran. That's what he would tell you. We learned this from Musa. Musa got it from over here. He was in the studies. And there's only a few people who even know the direct line back for this. And yes, our brother Musa has studied with them. So this is the way to be. The Levites were in training to become high priests. Only some of them stood correctly, yet no one stopped the moment when everybody was falsely worshiping this idol. That's why Musa came back down from the mountain and was very upset, ready to strike down Harun. How could you let the people do this? No, I didn't. That was not me. I'm putting my hands behind my back right now for you to understand. You can strike me as much as you want. That wasn't me. Those people are crazy. People will do what they will do. They are crazy. Go down there and see for yourself. So he goes down there and he looks. And yes, these people were crazy. They were in a trance. So much so that they didn't even recognize their own surroundings. And yeah, the Levites were lined up over here, making sure that these crazy people didn't spill over into the ones who were not participating at all. Now, were they stopping them? Were they restraining them? Were they throwing them into the fire? Were they saying, you know, this is not what you're supposed to be doing? Were they reciting chants or psalms or prayers or anything? No. Just standing, stalwart. Oh, we didn't do nothing. Yeah, you didn't do nothing. Stay right over there. Is there anybody else who wants to come over here and worship this cow? Come on. All right, y'all been standing long enough. Get out your swords. Go run them through. Sons of Korah. Selah. Section 7, Testament of Levi. And I said to my father, be not angry, sir, because you will Adon bring to naught the Canaanites, because by you will Adon bring to nothing the Canaanites, and will give their land to you and to your seed after you. For from this day forward shall Sheshashim, what's your Sheshashah sauce? For from this day forward shall Sheshim be called a city of them that are without understanding. For as a man mocks at a fool, so did we mock them, because they wrought folly in Yahasharael to defile our sister. And we took our sister from there and departed and came to Bethel. Section 8. And there I saw a thing again, even as the former, after we had passed 70 days. And I saw 7 men in white raiment, saying to me, arise, put on the robe of priesthood and crown of righteousness, and the breastplate of understanding, and the garment of truth, and the diadem of faith, and the tiara of a miracle, and the ephod of prophecy. And each one of them, bearing each of these things, put them on me and said, from henceforth become a priest of Adon, thou, you, and your seed forever. And the first anointed me with holy oil and gave to me the rod of judgment. The second washed me with pure water and fed me with bread and wine, the most holy things, and clad me with a holy glorious robe. The third clothed me with a linen vestment like to an ephod. The fourth put round me a girdle like purple. The fifth gave to me a branch of rich olive. The sixth placed a crown on my head. The seventh placed on my head a diadem of priesthood and filled my hands with incense, so that I served as a priest to Adon. And they said to me, Levi, your seed shall be divided into 3 branches, for a sign of the glory of Adon who is to come. And first shall he be that has been faithful. No portion shall be greater than his. The second shall be in the priesthood. The third, a new name shall be called over him, because he shall arise as king from Yehovah, Judah, and shall establish a new priesthood after the fashion of the Gentiles, to all of the Gentiles. And his appearing shall be unutterable as of an exalted prophet of the seed of Abraham our father. And every time it's saying his, it's capitalized. So it's talking about the coming of Adon, the coming of Emmanuel, the coming of Yahashua HaMashiach. Every desirable thing in Yahashua shall be for thee, you, and for your seed, and everything fair to look upon shall you eat. In the table of Adon shall your seed in the table of Adon shall your seed apportion. APPORTION, meaning you get to sit down and have a plate at the Lord's table. And some of them shall be high priests and judges and scribes, for by their mouth shall the holy places be guarded, their prayers, Like when you hear me say, Ausu bilahi mina shaitana regime, I mean, that's a prayer of protection against shaitan and the evil ways while we travel the divine path, seeking the protection of our Father, Tadabah. And when I awoke, I understood that this thing was like to the former. And I hid this also in my heart and told it not to any man upon earth. Section 9. And after 2 days, I and Judah, Yehovah, went up to Isaac after our father, and the father of my father blessed me, according to all the words of the visions which I had seen. And he would not come with us to Bethel. And when we came to Bethel, my father Jacob saw in a vision concerning me that I should be to them for a priest unto Adon. And he rose up early in the morning and paid tithes of all to Adon through me. And we came to Hebron to dwell there. We keep coming across that name, Hebron. 1, it's Avra or Ivri for the term Hebrew. Avra or Ivri. If you do your studies, you will find out that Solomon's servants were the Ifriti. Do your studies. So when we see Hebron, that's Ivra. Every time we're seeing these words and they're spelled certain ways or the characters are arranged a certain way, well, our mother tongue would tell us what was really going on. Because these places were named before the child was named. Sometimes that child was named after the place just to signify that's where it came from. And we came to Hebron to dwell there. And Isaac called me continually to put me in remembrance of the law of Adon, even as the angel of Yahweh Elohim showed to me. And he taught me the law of priesthood, of sacrifices, whole burnt offerings, first fruits, free will offerings, thank offerings. And each day he was instructing me and was busied for me before dawn. And he said to me, take heed, my child, of the spirit of fornication, for this shall continue, and shall by your seed pollute the holy things. Take therefore to yourself, while yet you are young, a wife, not having blemish, not yet polluted, nor of the race of the Philistines or Gentiles. And before entering into the holy place, bathe. And when you offer the sacrifice, wash. And again, when you finish the sacrifice, wash. Of 12 trees ever having leaves, offer up the fruits of the Lord, as also Abraham taught me. And of every clean beast and clean bird, offer a sacrifice to the Lord. And of every firstling and of wine, offer first fruits. And every sacrifice you shall salt with salt. So I want you all to back up real quick. Of 12 trees ever having leaves, offer up the fruits to the Lord. Ever having leaves. What are the fruits of evergreen trees? I think juniper is one of them. It's one of the trees. That's why I named my ChatGPT Juniper. There's a prophet associated with the juniper tree. Look it up. Selah. Section 10. Now, therefore, observe whatsoever I command you, children. For whatsoever things I have heard from my fathers, I have made known to you. I am clear from all your unrighteousness and transgression, which ye will do in the end of the ages against the Savior of our world, acting unrighteous, deceiving Yahashua and raising up against it great evils from Adon. And you will deal lawlessly with Yahashua, so that Jerusalem shall not endure your wickedness, but the veil of the temple shall be rent, so as not to cover your shame. And you shall be scattered as captives among the heathen, and shall be for a reproach, and for a curse, and for a trampling underfoot. For the house which Adon shall choose shall be called Jerusalem, as in contained in the book of Enoch the righteous. Now here's the thing. There's the calling from the book of Enoch, which we need to go on and get into apparently. Because while they're putting the name Jerusalem, Jerusalem does not mean the same as Yahweh is there. Because in Ezekiel, the vision granted to the Melchizedek priest, the city that priest sees is called Yahweh is there. That's not what Jerusalem means. Okay, section 11. Therefore, when I took a wife, I was 28 years old, and her name was Milcah. And she conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Gershom, for we were sojourners in our land. For Gershom is interpreted sojourning. And I saw concerning him that he would not be in the first rank. And the Kohath was born in my 35th year towards the east. And I saw in a vision that he was standing on high in the midst of all the congregation. Therefore I called his name Kohath, meaning beginning of majesty and instruction. And thirdly, she bare to me Merari in the 40th year of my life. And since his mother bare him with difficulty, she called him Merari, which means my bitterness, because he also died. And Jochebed was born in my 64th year in Egypt, Kemet. For I was renowned then in the midst of my brothers. Section 12. And Gershom took a wife, and she bare to him Lamni and Semi. And the sons of Kohath, Amram, Isar, Chebro, and Osel. And the sons of Merari, Muali, and Homusi. Those names sound real familiar. And in my 94th year, Amram took Jochebed, my daughter, to him to wife. For they were born in one day, and he and my daughter. They may have had the same birthday. 8 years old was I when I went into the land of Canaan, and 18 years when I slew Shechem, and at 19 years I became priest, and at 28 years I took a wife, and at 40 years I went into Kemet, and beyond you are my children even of a third generation. In my 118th year, Joseph died. And now, my children, I command you that you fear our Adon with your whole heart, and walk in simplicity according to all his law. And do you also teach your children learning, that they may have understanding in all their life, reading unceasingly the law of Yahweh Elohim. For everyone who shall know the law of Yahweh Elohim shall be honored, and shall not be a stranger wheresoever he goes. Yes, many friends shall he gain more than his forefathers, and many men shall desire to serve him, and to hear the law from his mouth. Work righteousness, my children, upon the earth, that you may find treasure in the heavens, and so to bow things in your souls, that you may find them in your life. For if you sow evil things, you will reap all trouble and affliction. Get wisdom in the fear of Yahweh Elohim with diligence, for there shall be a leading into captivity, and cities destroyed, and lands and gold and silver and every possession shall perish. The wisdom of the wise none can take away, save the blindness of unrighteousness and the palsy of sin. Palsy. Paralytic form. Sick, festered form. For even among his enemies shall it be to him glorious, and in a strange country at home, and in the midst of foes shall it be found a friend. If a man teach these things and do them, he shall be enthroned with kings. as was also Joseph, our brother, Yasav. Chapter 14, section 14. And now, my children, I have learned from the writing of Enoch that at least you will deal unrighteousness, laying your hands upon Adon in all malice, and your brethren shall be ashamed because of you, and to all the Gentiles shall it become a mocking. For our father Yahasharael shall be pure from the unrighteousness of the chief priests, who shall lay their hands upon the Savior of the world. Pure is the heaven above the earth, and you are the lights of the heaven as the sun and the moon. What shall all the Gentiles do if you are darkened in unrighteousness? So shall you bring a curse upon our race, for whom came the light of the world, which was given among you for the lighting up of every man. Now, the question is still the same as it was when we came across this the other time. When did Yahasharael become a race? Him will ye desire to slay, teaching commandments contrary to the ordinances of Yahweh Elohim. The offerings of Adon will you rob, and from his portion will you steal. And before you sacrifice to Adon, you'll take the choicest parts, and despitefulness, eating them with harlots. Amid excesses will you teach the commandments of Adon. The women that have husbands will you pollute, and the virgins of Jerusalem will you defile. And with harlots and adulteresses will you be joined. The daughters of the Gentiles will you take for wives, purifying them with an unlawful purification. And your union shall be like unto Sodom and Gomorrah in unrighteousness. Yeah, that's talking to those who are running around here calling yourself a Levite. You better make sure you know what you're talking about, because this is going to you. It's not over. And you will be puffed up because of the priesthood, lifting yourselves up against men. And not only so, but being puffed up also against the commands of Yahweh Elohim. You will scoff at the holy things, mocking in despitefulness. Section 15. Therefore, the temple which Adon shall choose shall be desolate in uncleanness, and you will be captives throughout all nations, and you shall be an abomination among them. And you shall receive reproach and everlasting shame from the righteous judgment of Yahweh Elohim. And all who see you shall flee from you. And were it not for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our fathers, not one from my seed should be left upon the earth. Section 16. And now I've learned in the book of Enoch that for 70 weeks will you go astray, and will profane the priesthood, and pollute the sacrifices, and corrupt the law, and set at naught the words of the prophets. In perverseness you will persecute righteous men, and hate those who worship Adon. The words of the faithful will you abhor. And the man who renews the law in the power of the Most High will you call a deceiver. And at last, as you suppose, you will slay him, not understanding his resurrection, wickedly taking upon your own heads the innocent blood. Because of him shall your holy places be desolate, polluted even to the ground, and you shall have no place that is clean. But you shall be among the Gentiles as a curse and a dispersion, until he shall again look upon you, and in pity shall take you to himself through faith and water. Section 17. And because you have heard concerning the 70 weeks, hear also concerning the priesthood. For in each jubilee there shall be a priesthood. In the first jubilee, the first who is anointed into the priesthood shall be great, and shall speak to Yahweh Elohim as to a father. And his priesthood shall be filled with the fear of Adon, and in the day of his gladness shall he arise for the salvation of the world. In the second jubilee, he that is anointed shall be conceived in the sorrow of beloved ones, and his priesthood shall be honored, and shall be glorified among all. And the third priest shall be held fast in sorrow, and fourth shall be in grief, because unrighteousness shall be laid upon him exceedingly, and all Yahashrael shall hate each one his neighbor. The fifth shall be held in darkness. The fifth shall be held fast in darkness. Likewise also the sixth and the seventh. And in the seventh there shall be such pollution as I am not able to express before the Lord and men. For they shall know it who do these things. Therefore shall they be in captivity and for a prey. Prey. It means there's a predator coming to get them. And their land and their substance shall be destroyed. And in the fifth week they shall return into their desolate country and shall renew the house of Adon. And in the seventh week shall come the priests, worshippers of idols, contentious, lovers of money, proud, lawless, lascivious, abusers of children and beasts. Now you hear the mention of Feast of the 7 weeks. You heard that, right? The 7 weeks, 70 weeks. Now we are aware of the 70 weeks. Now let's dig a little deep though. How long do they say a day is with a dawn? They say a day is like 1,000 years, right? What if I told you my calendar has a month called day? 30 24-hour periods in one span called day. Now it's D-E-Y instead of D-A-Y. Yesterday we were talking about week, W-E-I-K. And I said there's 3 different entries for it in etymology. One of them is week, like 7 days of the week. And there's 7 people attributed to those 7 days because that week is a village. So you're running around here right now attributing yourself to a village that ain't got nothing to do with Yahweh Elohim. Is there a way to count to 30 in Proto-Canaan? I believe there is. I believe I have heard Kohelet Kofi Ofori speak of how to go through and use the characters of Aleph Beit, and you can count. So we can count out a series of 30 days. Because we got to get away from this wake. Because wake is also where they get vice. And there's this vice squad that's out looking for us at all times. So we have to know about the law to protect ourselves. Adon will ye desire to slay, teaching commandments contrary to the ordinances of Yahweh Elohim. The offerings of Adon will you rob, and from his portion will you steal. And before you sacrifice to Adon, you will take the choicest parts, in despitefulness eating them with harlots. Amid excesses will you teach the commandments of Adon, that the women have husbands will you pollute. We've gone through this part. And the virgins of Jerusalem will you defile, and with harlots and adulteresses will you be joined. The daughters of the Gentiles will you take for wives, purifying them with unlawful purification. And your union shall be like Sodom and Gomorrah in unrighteousness. And you will be puffed up because of the priesthood, lifting yourselves up against men, saying that you are equivalent to the Most High, The reason why you keep hearing me say Adon is because some of the Levite priests were taking that Shem, that name, and add on a little extra so that they could say Lord and then their name. And then they expect it to be addressed as a Lord. That's why we have to say Lord of all lords, Lord of all worlds. Because silly creatures in mankind decided that they wanted to come along and call themselves a Lord too. There's only one who owns everything, the one who made everything. I don't care what kind of piece of paper you got with whatever kind of signature and whatever kind of pressed emblem on it, you don't own anything. You don't even own your own life. You think you do. Yeah, what we were talking about was the 70 weeks though, right? And then being with Adon, one day is like 1,000 years. And here I am, yes, telling you that I don't walk with that calendar at all. As a matter of fact, my calendar has a period of days, and that period of days is actually called day. I believe at this point, we may be walking through the period called Ashar. And that's the reason I'm here, because every day I'm supposed to tell you to remember Asher and the day of Ashura. When is the day of Ashura? The day after Passover. Selah. So you can go through the period of the 70 weeks and you observe all the things you're supposed to observe. But what this is saying right here is even though they were doing all of that, when it came time for offerings, these priests were taking the best part instead of letting that burn for the people. They were taking the offering that was supposed to go to our Creator in honor of Abba, and they were eating it. There was nothing wrong with them actually having something to eat out of the sacrifice that was actually stated. But no, they didn't get the largest portion. That's not how that went. As a matter of fact, there was certain foods that were brought for the priests to eat during these sacrifices. There were certain things that were brought that were meant to do nothing except be burnt in sacrifice. Nobody consumes it. It's consumed in fire to be returned to Abba. This came out perfect. Let's give it back because we got all these other ones. But that's perfect right there. That's about as most perfect. We need to give that back to our Father because we got all this over here. Unofficial KJ. Lucas Fairborn. Hashem Yahweh Elohim. Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your families, and your circles. We made it to the hour and a half mark. And I'm at the 16% mark on my battery over here. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to finish out the Testament. What is today? This Wednesday or something? I don't know. Yeah. So tomorrow, Adon willing, we'll go into the next brother study. Don't quote me. Oh, Yehovah. Tomorrow, we'll be speaking on Yehovah, Adon willing, Judah. So let's get back to this so we can close it out. I want to thank you all for being here. Tada, shukran, grazie, gracias, molto grazie. Shante, spasibo, thank you. Mucho me gusto, it's my pleasure to be here. It's my pleasure to be of service. Thank you all for being here. All right, here we go. Section 18. And after their punishment shall have come from Adon, then will Adon raise up the priesthood a new priest, to whom all the words of Adon shall be revealed. And he shall execute a judgment of truth upon the earth in the fullness of days, and his star shall arise in heaven as a king shedding forth the light of knowledge in the sunshine of day. And he shall be magnified in the world until his ascension. And he shall shine forth as the sun in the earth, and shall drive away all darkness from the world under heaven. And there shall be peace in all earth. The heavens shall rejoice in his days, and the earth shall be glad, and the clouds shall be joyful, and the knowledge of Adon shall be poured forth upon the earth, as the water of the seas, and the angels of the glory of the presence of Adon shall be glad in him. The heavens shall be open, and from the temple of glory shall the sanctification come upon him with the Father's voice, as from Abraham, the father of Isaac. And the glory of the Most High shall be uttered over him, and the spirit of understanding and of sanctification shall rest upon him in the water. And he shall give the majesty of Adon to his sons in the truth forevermore. And there shall none succeed him for all generations, even forever. And in his priesthood shall all sin come to an end, and the lawless shall rest from evil, and the just shall rest in him. And he shall open the gates of paradise, and shall remove the threatening sword against Adam. And he shall give to his saints to eat from the tree of life. And the spirit of holiness shall be on them. And Beliar shall be bound by him. And he shall give power to his children to tread upon the evil spirits. And the Lord shall rejoice in his children. And Adon shall be well pleased in his beloved forever. Then shall Abraham and Isaac and Jacob be joyful, and I will be glad, and all the saints shall put on gladness. That means that the whole time that they were going around being corrupt and they was laid up with harlots and everything else and practicing all the traditions of Babylon, they didn't realize it. That's where that behold, I come as a thief in the night part comes in, because he came in the first time. They were asleep for 400 years. Great Rabbi, Rabbi Shefirli, how do you expect me to raise up this city over here that is dry? I can barely even see some dry bones. Do you doubt? No, not that. Just, can you show me, please? You go to sleep, and when you wake up, look around you. Now look how your donkey has withered away. Even your food has rotted. And you see this village replenished and the people and the repopulation. It's not on you to try to make the judgment about how things are going to happen. It's on you to spread the message that it is possible. And how is it possible? By even you yourself going out and being a service, being a positive force in your community, being beneficial, finding a way to represent the standards of Yahweh Elohim in your living, breathing life. Section 19, closing out with this. And now, my children, you have heard all. Choose therefore for yourselves either the darkness or the light, either the law of Adon or the works of Beliar. And we answered our father, saying, before Adon we will walk according to his law. And our father said, Adon is witness, and his angels are witnesses, and I am witness, and you are witnesses concerning the word of your mouth. And we said, oh, we are witnesses. And thus Levi ceased giving charge to his sons, and he stretched out his feet and was gathered to his fathers after he had lived 137 years. And they laid him in a coffin, and afterwards they buried him in Hebron by the side of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal Ashr. By time, surely mankind is at a loss, except for those who practice tawbah deeds daily amongst each other with patience and consistency. Be sabir. Alhamdulillah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. Yahava Ahabba. Our Father is love. Ahabba Ahabba. Love is love. When you see someone in need, go help them. Don't ask them, do they need help? If you can see it, that means that you have empathy. If you do something about it, then you have compassion. Ametaba, ametofo. Those are ways of saying compassion in both Chinese and Japanese. Hashtag, kindness is contagious. Now, for a hashtag to work, that means that you don't put spaces in between. Kindness is contagious. You have to put all three of those together after the hashtag. If you put the space there, it just says hashtag kindness. No more ancient Shiloh the secret. You want to know more? You contact me. Now, some people would get offended for me doing that. However, the thing is, Wu-Tang is tattooed right here. And I can show you in my notebooks where I've studied ancient Chinese texts. China. Yeah. You say yellow man and you say sick man, you just don't understand. Came right back with the force. China. Okay. Okay. I reload that. Okay. I'm cutting it short because, like I said, my battery's at 16%. The rain finally broke for a while. I need to take a hike across town real quick, grab up some supplies, possibly charge up a little bit even more too. I want to thank everybody who has come in to join the party. Thank you so much. Tada, shukran, grazie, es molto grazie, spasibo, achante. Mucho me gusto. It is my pleasure to be in front of you. It is my pleasure to be of service. Please reach out to me. I have a comment section. Reach out to me. Do a request because donations, your suggestions, and also project requests are accepted. I have a PayPal. I have a Cash App. And it also does have a direct routing number through the PayPal service for Wells Fargo. There is. Meanwhile, you all have a great day. Go out there and open the door for somebody. You see somebody carrying something, walk up like you're about to hug them and get that for them. Say, let me get that. Thank you. And then you carry it. And then when you get done and then they say thank you, that's when you hug them. Right? Go out there and make somebody else have a reason to smile today. Many much love and respect. Till next time.